Welcome to Squad, your favorite source for everything esports and gaming. I'm Lisa Dwan, and if you're new here, no worries, this is what we have going down tonight. Marissa and Brody will be bringing you the latest in esports and gaming and memes and Unmuted, and in tonight's Esports in 30, we're talking Rocket League. But before we get to all of that, let's take a walk down memory lane. We're counting down the top 5 most memorable levels in Rank It.
Kicking off the most memorable levels in video games is Facility from GoldenEye 007. It's the second level of the game, and while the first was a straight-up shooter, Facility features several different objectives with multiple ways to solve them. Plus, shooting all those Soviet soldiers in the bathroom is definitely a memorable way to start the mission. But while the single-player mission is good, Facility really shines in multiplayer. It is one of the first multiplayer maps that you can unlock, and since all of the objects have been removed, it's a perfect playground. Facility is extremely well designed with multiple entrances to nearly every room and plenty of space to shoot your friends. It's widely regarded as one of, if not the best level in GoldenEye. Fans liked it so much that it was even ported directly into Perfect Dark Zero and has continually been remade in other games. Coming up next is a level from Dishonored. Now, it's important to note that Dishonored is a game that gives you a set of tools to complete an objective, offering little help or guidance along the way. That means that the game encourages you to experiment, and nowhere is that philosophy more prevalent than in the 5th mission, Lady Boyle's Last Party. Here's the objective. Find and neutralize Lady Boyle while she's holding a party at her mansion. The problem is that there are 3 Lady Boyles, since they are triplets, and you have to find out which one is your target. That's it. The result is a mission that gives you dozens of options for tackling a wide variety of problems. You don't have to fight anyone if you don't want to, and can instead enter the house as a partygoer. The greatness of Dishonored is on display in this mission, and it's one of the most iconic levels of the past 10 years. Half-Life 2 was one of the best games ever made, and its most memorable level is absolutely deserving of its spot on our list. We Don't Go to Ravenholm is set in the titular town, filled to the brim with zombies and fast zombies alike. It turns the sci-fi first-person shooter into a survival horror game, and is easily the creepiest level in the entire franchise. But more than just being terrifying, Ravenholm is the first chance for players to test out and use the gravity gun to its full potential. Ammo is in short supply, but there are plenty of objects that you can use with the gravity gun to fight back. Saw blades and explosive barrels will save your life here, and it teaches you how to properly use the environment to solve the puzzles in the later half of the game. Ravenholm is distinct from the rest of Half-Life 2, and its design makes it an experience that prepares you for the challenges to come. You may not want to play it again when you've beaten it, but you'll never forget it either. Our number 2 pick is none other than the first level of Sonic the Hedgehog, Green Hill Zone. It's a lush, grassy area filled with palm trees, cliffs, and vertical loops that show off just how fast our favorite blue hedgehog can go. You've probably got the song playing in your head right now, don't you? What makes the zone memorable is that its design highlights the best features of Sonic. It features long open stretches to build up speed, impressive acrobatic feats and jumps, and plenty of hidden areas to discover if you can slow down for just a moment. It's also a great tutorial, as none of the obstacles or enemies are truly punishing, allowing you to get used to the mechanics. Green Hill Zone is so iconic that it's been remade countless times in other Sonic games, and even if a Sonic game doesn't feature it, the intro level will always be compared to Green Hill Zone. Just try to get its theme out of your head before we reveal our next pick, okay? Our most memorable level of all time is an easy pick. World 1-1 of Super Mario Bros. It's nothing short of being the most iconic level in video game history. It's the first level in the game, and it is also the best tutorial in video games. World 1-1 features a simple layout with plenty of obstacles that would become more complicated as the game went on. But it always foreshadows each threat and obstacle before you encounter it. It starts with a single Goomba, but the further you go, the more it teaches you about jumping, warp pipes, question blocks, and practically every core gameplay mechanic. It is a masterclass in game design. And that theme, it's so simple, so catchy, that isn't any wonder that it's become one of the most iconic tracks in video game history. Altogether, World 1-1 is perfect, and there's nothing else in the world that even comes close to it.
Hot opinions and the spiciest memes. I'm Marissa Roberto.
And I'm Brody Moore. Producer Tyler is giving us 2 minutes to discuss 4 topics, and it will track at the bottom of your screen at any point in time. If one of us gets a line and definitely needs to shut the other one up, we got a trusty mute button here. We can mute the other for 30 seconds.
That's right. We like it when you play along in chat, so give us the what for, because we can take it. Let's kick things off here, because after a few weeks of waiting, we finally have a new update to the Echo Fox racism controversy. Riot Games released the results of its investigation into alleged racist and threatening behavior by an Echo Fox shareholder, and it's taking a harder stance on the issue. Riot said that the accused shareholder, who is not named in the investigation but is alleged to be Amit Rezada, violated LCS conduct. Echo Fox has 60 days to remove him from any position within the team, or else it could, quote, adversely affect the future of Echo Fox in the LCS. Brody.
Yes.
What do you think about this? I don't think you and I have actually had this discussion yet about the Echo Fox drama.
I mean, I don't really know how much there is to talk about it. Don't be racist. at the end of the day and taking a hard stance on it.
Really early at the end of the day from Broden Hard. 2 in a row.
Gotta get it out of the way so that you don't bring it up later on. But no, really, at the end of the day, don't be a dick. And if you're going to be a dick, things are going to happen. It's good that Riot's taking a stance on this because it helps, again, divert the attention away from them by focusing it on other people. But no, you had to do something. And if they didn't do something, it would look even worse on them. They had to take action, and they're doing it in a really good third-party kind of way. They're not saying, hey, we're banning him. It's just like, Echo Fox, you better deal with this, or this could cause you some problems later on.
Right, exactly, and problems being less money. So that is going to upset the other shareholders within Echo Fox, right? Because there's obviously tiers of shareholders in these big companies, right? So this guy, Amit, if that is who it is, has a large majority. He must, or else he would have been booted already. Somebody would have bought him out. Something would have happened. The fact that Rick Fox is saying he has to step down, that's crazy. That seems insane to me because he is the friggin' face of it. He's gone.
That is if Rick Fox is backing down, why has Echo Fox already not taken a stance on this? The real question is, whether Riot should have taken an earlier stance or whether they should have taken a stance at all. It should have been that Echo Fox should have been on this earlier. Why wasn't this dealt with right away? Why wasn't it like the next day, all right, we looked into it, we saw some emails, this guy's out of here. You're right. It's likely because there was a big amount of money in it.
Yeah, exactly. There's always bureaucracy, right? There's always going to be something that needs to happen. The fact that Riot said they're completing an investigation means that obviously they had to look into things. You can't just immediately reaction, he's racist, get him out of here. Although we would love for that to happen, unfortunately there's so much red tape around so many different things. Do you think they should all just leave that
guy and just make their own new org?
Well, no, because this is the brand they've built. This is Rick Fox's brand. How?
Well, he's not there anymore, so just get rid of
it. It makes me so upset to know that he will no longer be there. Although I think he said recently that he maybe would come back as long as they get rid of this guy.
Yeah. Well,
the threats are there. Hopefully he does come back because we need his face.
We'll find out. But let's update another controversy, this time in Call of Duty. Denial Esports co-owner Zach Smith has stepped down from the team's day-to-day operations. This comes a day after Denial was accused of failing to pay former Denial player Natche his salary. In a statement, Smith said that Denial was not legally able to pay Natche due to visa issues. Furthermore, Smith claims that Natche was never entitled to a salary at all. Despite that, Denial will set up an escrow account to cover the alleged player's salaries as an act of good faith.
Oh, wow.
So this is tough, Marissa, because we know that Denial's actually already been through a situation of being accused of not playing their players before.
So much of this. And then it's just one excuse after another, after another, after another. And then at one point, it just becomes too little too late. Yeah, you're going to start an escrow account, you're going to pay these players. Man, these guys are already burned so badly. No matter what, their brand is tainted, right? So, which means, and I feel like they're doing this now, they have to do this now because the Call of Duty is franchising. Call of Duty World League is full on franchising, and they want to get in on this because they had a spot, but now they're look bad. Now they look really bad.
I want to devil's advocate
this. So how can they possibly jump in?
There is a huge possibility here that Denial isn't lying in this situation. Maybe they did screw up in that other one, but this one, maybe they're in the right here, and the player that wasn't entitled to a salary in the first place, didn't know how to read his contract, is coming forward and saying, whoa, I need money because, if you can't, it's hard to make money in esports unless you're really good at a game or you're working on, broadcasting that. Besides that, there's not a lot of money being salaried to people. So he realizes all of a sudden he's not making money. He's like, oh, I got to make money somehow. This could be what he's doing. And he knows that Denial already has a tainted image from before and that they're going to have to bend. Otherwise, it's going to look even worse. This could be a case of manipulation from the player as well.
Fair. That's actually a really good point to argue because we always often take the player's side, right? Because they're our immediate reaction. We get our immediate attention because they're always tweeting about this stuff.
We're attached to their brands more
Exactly.
often
And the Call of Duty community is just very open and honest with things. Do they think before they tweet? No, not really.
Not often.
Not often. So yeah, that could be something. Although because of so many claims up until this point, it's just really hard to. And they know it too. The players know it too. And a lot of them have just openly admitted, look, I know I'm never going to see money. I just have to move on.
That's not good.
It sucks really. Honestly, JCap.
I guess it's better than holding on, but.
Yeah, no, I guess so. But former players of Denial that actually got them into the World League are regretting winning to get them into the World League to begin with because maybe this wouldn't have happened to other players, right? It's a trickle-down effect.
I will just say it's good for Denial right now. that they're setting up an insurance plan in case this happens again, even if they're in the wrong.
I think
because
it's too little too late. It's too little too late, man. Okay, moving on to some good news for the Overwatch League. The Stage 2 playoffs were watched for a total of 2.5 million hours by viewers, which is much higher than the same stage playoffs in Season 1. This is because the playoff format changed between seasons. In Season 1, stage playoffs took place over a single day. In Season 2, stage playoffs take place over 3 days and feature more teams. One downside, however, less people watch the Stage 2 playoffs than the Stage 1 playoffs because of uncompetitive matches between top teams. So, Brody, how can the OWL improve their playoff format in your eyes?
Oh, that's really easy.
Oh.
Just pick another game. Stop doing Overwatch. It's problem solved.
Why are you the worst?
Why am I the worst? I learned from you.
Set him up.
But for real, I mean, I don't think they really care too much because for sponsors, it's about hours watched.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in esports and when it comes to getting sponsorships is showing them hours watched.
Yeah.
How many hours overall? It doesn't matter, how many people are in there concurrently. It's like, okay, this long of video is being seen by people, you can be a part of those chunk of hours. So for them, that's good. Like, this is good, even the concurrent numbers are down.
Yep.
The issue is that the viewers, we look at concurrent numbers, and we say, this esport's dying.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the viewers aren't paying the money. They gotta make the money. So yeah, of course, showing these numbers to investors, are you kidding me? These are beautiful. These are lovely. Let's bring on more investors, more money, more dollar bills, more broadcasts, more stadiums, more teams. Like, why not? This is a big deal to jump from this amount of viewers to the next year, only Season 2, going that much more. Very exciting. I don't know if they can change the playoff format. I feel like they've had to change it this way to actually retain those viewers and to show off those numbers. Remember, kids, it's about the long game here, and it's about the money.
It's not about the fans. It depends. If you're in grassroots esports, sure, it's going to be directed at fans. But like, you look at a big production like this, obviously the first and foremost thought on any of the production teams' mind is we got to appease the money.
For sure, but
right?
How glorious is it to Blizzard? How glorious is it to OWL that these teams already had fans from the beginning, like before they even played their first game? All of these teams, all these people want to watch Overwatch. We cannot deny that there is something, not to bring it back to denial, but we cannot deny that this is a powerhouse. This is a juggernaut. This is going to be something in this space, whether you like it or not.
True. But we're gonna move on. I can't talk anymore because time's up. The Fortnite World Cup qualifiers will continue for a few more weeks, but they've seemed to hit a snag. According to viewership statistics, less people are watching Fortnite esports now compared to the start of the qualifiers. Now, more people are watching regular streaming content during the week. The problem seems to be that if top players are playing in the qualifiers, less people are watching them. And to me, that doesn't come as a big surprise. We've seen it. I mean, like, if you had the chance to watch Ninja or the actual official stream, what are you watching?
Oh, well, don't ask me that question.
Well, okay,
like, for me, I would watch the stream to see what up. But I don't know. Ninja just isn't my. I'll watch him. I just don't necessarily. I can't necessarily watch him for a long period of time.
The issue, we were watching this the other day too, and I was like, I was comparing the two broadcasts that were happening, Rocket League and Fortnite.
Yeah.
And like Rocket League was just kicking Fortnite's numbers in butts. And I'm like,
of course.
yeah. But if you actually go to the streamers, like the top players that are playing it, their numbers are way up there. It's just an inherent thing when it comes to battle royales. The only one that's got a really good spectating system is PUBG right now. But if I'm watching Apex or Fortnite, I want to watch the actual pros viewpoint. Like, I want to go to Shroud and see him just shred through people. I don't want to see the top down. I want to see his actual mechanics and movements.
Definitely,
so it's just an inherent thing with battle royales that it's not as good to watch the production than it is to watch the team.
Right, and
or
also
the players,
kids that are watching, like these guys are just retaining a lot of views from kids watching, right? And they only know Fortnite, they only talk about Fortnite, they only know certain individual players in Fortnite. They don't really care so much about the esports scene, and listen, Epic knows that. Fortnite also knows, like, they know, right?
That's the thing.
They get it.
Epic really doesn't care.
No.
Epic's like, people are playing and watching our game.
Yeah.
We don't give a crap if you're watching our production part. It's cool to have the production to be like, hey, look, we do have a policy polished product that you can
Yes.
watch if you want to see the overall and overarching action.
Yeah.
But we know you're likely just going to go watch all the streamers anyways.
Which is
So-
fine because you're still watching our game. So
Yeah, the amount of money they're investing into the production is probably next to nothing to what they're making back by
Oh my
those other
gosh.
people streaming.
completely.
They
yeah,
know this. They don't care.
They know. Remember, this is about the long game. This is definitely about the long game for them. They can test out different broadcasts. They can test out different whatever, changing meta right before the game starts. They can do all that stuff because
Literally 5 minutes before the
they've
game. I
got
wouldn't be
time
surprised.
and they've got money. It's time to check in with the streamers in Clip It. Our first clip comes from Dr. Disrespect and requires a little background information. Dr. Disrespect has previously admitted to cheating on his wife. That happened a while ago. We all know that. YouTuber Pro Jared is currently dealing with his own cheating scandal. With all that out of the way, enjoy.
Bro Jared, thank you for the 5. Thanks for being a mentor and showing me how it's done, champ. The 2-time! I should have clutched that though, man. I thought the guy was down, it was gonna be easy kill, but he was actually a full-bodied, still full health dude with a shield in front of his gun.
Oh no, someone made a Pro Jared account and he had no idea. And adding the 2-time to that makes it even worse too.
Yeah.
Oh, rip
Yeah.
Dr. I'm sure he saw that after and said, oops.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah, listen, Pro Jared, I mean, I don't know if you know any of the backstory here. It's actually so much drams with it. I want to feel bad, but I
Or
can't
Disrespect
because I don't know.
knew, and he just made it even funnier.
Possibly, but just played it like he didn't know. Because, like, would he know Pro Jared? I'm not sure about that. Like, Pro Jared, they just come from different worlds. Yes, it's in the gaming
I'm sure someone
scope,
would have made a
but
reference to him at some point to
In
be
his
like,
stream.
oh, look at like brought it up at some point because of Dr. Disrespect's history.
for sure.
If so, props on him for owning up and just like rolling with that.
I guess so,
'Cause
yeah.
that's
But
funny.
like feels because this guy has lost like millions of followers now because of just the scandal that's erupted over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure you can find Reddit threads about it. It's just all about Pro Jared.
Yeah.
I mean, although isn't all publicity good publicity? Like he's losing followers, but like now more people are talking about him. So
I don't know. I don't
you
have any
didn't know-
publicity, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you didn't know who he was before we talked about this.
That's true.
Yeah, so now you do.
Cool. Our next clip comes from all the way down under. Australian streamer X Don claimed he could open a beer with anything.
We'll try it. Is it fully extended? Yeah, it is. All right.
Yo.
Like that, Chris? Like that, baby? I'll try and make it more trippy for you.
Oh my god!
I didn't think that would happen.
Yeah, this was like the few $100 headset. Oh my god.
You show us it, put it up to the camera.
No.
Show us it, go.
He can't hear us.
Oh yeah, true, he doesn't have a headset!
That's how
We're all
the best and worst discoveries have all been concluded by, I didn't think that would happen.
Right, of course. Yeah, maybe just like don't use expensive equipment at all, and like don't. Yeah, just I don't know, just be wary of it.
I've had, if it's not a bottle opener or a counter, people can do it with like a lighter.
Yeah,
I feel like
I've
almost broken a finger trying to do that. So I wouldn't even try to do it with a headset.
No, just have a bottle opener at the ready if you're going to be.
Oh yeah, why not? You're in your house. You
having
probably
taste
have
of
one
beverage.
by.
Right, exactly. But he's making claims that obviously were not true. So I don't know. I guess test it before you try it. But it made for a good clip. So thank you. Listen, it truly is the best time of day where we scroll the Twitters to bring you all the things that pros bless us with on their timeline. It's the best when pros send a message to one specific person. Like back in the old days, they called this little ditty a personal ad. Ninja says, to the kid I didn't take a picture with yesterday, I'm sorry. Jessica Blevins and I were walking in the privacy of our neighborhood and on the phone. Still feel bad I said no, but just need a safe place. Catch me at Chipotle. I got you. Okay, wait, hold up.
Okay.
The question is, do you use this as a personal ad, first of all, like as a subtweet only? Or do you feel like he's obligated to actually make a Chipotle tweet? So he made that tweet as a subtweet, but also as a sponsored tweet without having to put ad.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize
Yeah.
that is called stealth marketing.
Yeah.
I totally, because I actually read this way before you even brought it up on the
Yeah,
show here,
yeah.
and I didn't even realize Chipotle could be an ad. At the same time, I do want to call him out. The privacy of your neighborhood does not make sense. You do not own the neighborhood. If you're out there, you're going to get bugged. People should respect your space, yes.
Yeah.
But you can't expect it.
But then Jessica replied underneath it. She was just saying, okay, first of all, it wasn't a kid. It was like an older guy in a car driving by and like basically shouted for him to take a photo. And then somebody replies underneath being like, couldn't you just go into the other room and tell him this? Like, why are you tweeting at him?
It was probably Seb, our Jib.
It was Seb just rolling by. He wanted
He's
a
giving
picture
a thumbs up.
for JJ Pokecatcher. I mean, he probably gets it all the time. He needs to just tweet this stuff too to let people know, like, hey, I might not want to take a photo with you. Like, just be aware.
Yo.
What?
Did you know Hugs has a tier list that he has to share?
Oh.
Official. Top 10 female smashers. Let's take a look at this. Leffen at number 1. Frodan at number 2. Spud, Zoo, Hugo, Ludwig, and Cactar. Samsora and Tafo, and then Void finishing it off. That's beautiful. They are beautiful.
I don't know. I feel like Ludwig should have been higher on that list.
You think?
Yeah.
Ludwig just in general is a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man.
Do you love how Hugs also put himself in his own tier list as number 5? Like he had to go middle of the pack. He couldn't put himself at the bottom or the top. But I'll just give myself number 5, and nobody will question this.
Real facts is that only 9 smashers tweeted pictures of themselves, so he had to do something. He was just covering it up.
Oh, I see. That must be it.
No, that's probably not true. He just put himself in there.
We do have our own tier list as well. If you want to create your own, you can hit us up on our socials with our face swaps, basically. You know, me as a man, Brody as a woman. And who looks prettier? You decide.
I'm telling you straight up, don't look at it. I lose instantly.
Okay. Our last profound thought is from another Melee member in the form of Hungrybox with, you guessed it, a tear. He says, don't share this knowledge, it's too powerful. With this easy tier list, water is king. And like everything else in F. Brody, you challenge?
First off, that is such a smasher thing, or just an FGC thing in general.
Yeah.
And also true. I'm with him. Water, especially as you get older, becomes very important, and you realize its importance. Man, it's easy to get dehydrated the older you get. But no, seriously, at Smash events, so many times you'll go up to like the pros, and they have like a full like 3-gallon jug that they're just carrying around of water that they just have with them all day. Well, it's actually like it weighs more than I do.
That's
these jugs
good. It's healthy.
Yeah, you get your curls in and you're getting hydrated. It's brilliant.
Yeah, drink water, kids. Brody has a specific kind of water that he drinks, though. He won't drink any other water than this.
Mountain Dew.
No! Okay, Mountain Dew, yeah, he also has that for breakfast often. But no, he will not accept water if it came from a bottle. He will only drink tap water.
Only. That's your tier.
It's
like my anti-diva thing, just tap water.
He's anti-diva, but he's a diva about it, getting his water from a tap.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on because it's time to get to some crowd control. This is where I show you some things I found on the webs. You may like them, you may not. I'm not your boss. Do what you want, okay? Sometimes when you play against people of your own skill for a while, you forget how good that you may actually be. So I sometimes like to queue against lower ranked players and stomp them and remind myself I'm all right at the game. LPN has the same feeling and titles this, When You, a veteran fighting player, entering a local small town. I love it, just trouncing on kids. You don't care sometimes. Sometimes you need to remind yourself how good you are.
Yo, I'm so jealous of that guy. Seriously, to like just trounce on kids like that. Just show them what up. That would be amazing. That's actually, like my dream.
Speaking of, !MRob in chat. And it is true. That is a dream. But have you ever smurfed on anyone, like a game that you're good at? Like, do you have like multiple Clash accounts that you just wreck kids with?
No, even the games that I'm really good at, so many people are so much better than me. So no, of course not. And I rarely play competitive if it's not on mobile.
You just flexing on your town mates in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, exactly. Like how could that? Like, how could that possibly happen? No, it's just there's no way for the games that I'm good at for me to actually create a Smurf account to then trounce on kids.
Oh, like, you'll never know the feeling.
I know. Dang it. Okay, listen. Have you ever slammed a car door too hard because you didn't realize how light it was? Mesos on Reddit had a similar experience in Battlefield. All right, here we go.
Yo, when you rolling up, you feeling good?
Yeah.
Hulk smash!
The whole build. the whole building, Brody.
The best is the look around when you get so confused. You're like, I'm sorry, was this me? Or is this just bad building? Did the architect screw up here? Was this me?
Yeah. This is a poor craftsmanship for sure. I just love that. Honestly, that kind of just reminds me of obviously the parable of the Three Little Pigs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the big bad wolf that comes and blows the houses down. That was the house made of straw.
That was the house made of marshmallows. More than anything.
There's so much power though. All these clips that you're showing me just make me feel weak.
Same. How do you think I feel next to you every day?
Aww.
Our last post comes from Silver Darkblade, and he's giving us insight into a horse's workout regime.
Ooh. What? Come on!
I love games that have ragdoll or dynamic animations.
Yeah.
Now that's why you know the horses in Skyrim, how they can climb vertical mountains and that?
Yes.
That's why they've been working out in Witcher.
Oh.
They've been given the run for.
Just making gains. Listen, we should all be able to do pull-ups. That should just be goals.
Pull-ups?
That just be goal. Push-ups and pull-ups, that should be goals for us, right? Because we should be able to pull our own weight. Just like this little horsey.
That was a nice little life lesson. But I could also not do that and go home and sit in a chair with a controller in my hand.
Yeah, and continue your awesome diet of chips. Literally for breakfast, this guy busts out 2 bags of chips.
And a Lunchable.
Different flavors and a Lunchable.
I'm healthy.
This episode of Unmuted not brought to you by 2 bags of chips and a Lunchable. Listen, that's all for Unmuted. Remember, you can catch us always. Hit us up on our socials at Squad State and make sure to type out ! Socials right now so you can find out what they are. We'll see you next time.
Yeah! Is there a candy? Let's go to candy.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Let's celebrate with a cucumber.
Yes, nothing says celebrate.
You hungry, Tyler?
What's the cucumber for?
Don't ask questions.
Are you gonna eat the cucumber just to eat a cucumber?
Well, Marissa did it one time. I need to
Have we stooped this low?
Marissa one time had a cucumber.
We have an 18A rating, right?
I don't think so, but whatever.
Remember, you can catch the VOD of The Green Room on our Twitch channel, and while you're there, why don't you hit that subscribe button to get exclusive emotes like this one. Squad Spicy. All right, just in a bit, Nick and Brody will be calling up our boy Lawler to talk about Rocket League, but first, let me get you caught up on all the news in Reported. Riot Games is already pushing out hotfixes for the game's newest champion, Yuumi, less than 2 days after her release. That's because Yuumi has the dubious honor of achieving the worst win rate of any champion in 7 years. Seriously, she only wins 30% of her matches. Put politely, that sucks. So Riot has buffed nearly all of Yuumi's skills and damage to compensate. And if that doesn't work out, maybe it's time to stop designing champions that are literally just cute cats. Actually, scratch that. Cats are the cutest animals ever, and we deserve more of them in League. Nothing screams esports more than cheap beer. Wait a second, it doesn't? Someone should tell Complexity Gaming then, because it just signed a sponsorship deal with Miller Coors to make Miller Lite the official beer of the team. The Players Lounge at Complexity's HQ will be renamed to the Miller Lite Players Lounge, and more importantly, Miller Lite will be available on tap for players and staff of legal drinking age. Miller Coors will also produce content revolving around Complexity's players, and will use the team as a testing ground to see if it should expand into esports. One piece of advice to the players: unlike in beer pong, alcohol does not necessarily make you a better gamer. Ubisoft announced that it will release 4 new AAA games before March 2020, which marks the end of the fiscal year. Revealed in its latest financial report, Ubisoft says that it expects to hit its $2.4 billion sales target with the release of these new games. However, at this point, we can only predict what one of the 4 games will be. Ghost Recon Breakpoints is the only confirmed game, while Ubisoft's pirate game Skull and Bones has been delayed to next year. We can keep speculating as to what the remaining 3 games will be, but we'll likely find out when Ubisoft hosts its annual E3 press conference next month. The latest limited time mode hit Fortnite this week, and it's none other than a partnership with John Wick 3. Called Wick's Bounty, players must take down opponents in order to collect coins. The more coins you collect, the more visible you are to other players, and you'll have to fend off everyone trying to claim your bounty. This ties in well with the movie, which sees everyone's favorite dog-loving assassin trying to survive against a horde of killers. The only thing the event is missing is an appearance by Keanu Reeves, but he's probably too busy being a badass to care.
Still manages to get the job done. Here comes Tadpole now through the air. See if he can set up a teammate or get it in by himself. No way. Looks for the dunk in the air. Justin coming off the ceiling, falls down. Look at the flip. It off the ground and in.
What's going on, Rocketeers, and welcome to Esports in 30. I'm Brody, that's Nick, and today we're seriously not going to waste any time because the playoffs of the RLCS has given us so much to talk about.
Isn't that what we're doing right now? Wasting time doing this intro? Let's talk about the playoffs, man. Let's go.
Good point. Alrighty, Nick, as we said, we're not going to waste any time. On the other side of these highlights, we'll be calling up Adam Lawler Thornton to get all the details. Good night.
Still playing.
And Leth was right there, ready to bang it home. Maybe they catch Memory too far forward, and it's in!
It's in! AJ scores and Rogue move on to qualification. Ghost is done for the season, but a valiant performance for their last match.
What a battle between these guys.
But now a chance. There was a good stop by Torment to at least slow things down, but they're not over. AXB through! Ties the game for Space Station. Nothing this time. Gimmick. Back over, finds Torment from the corner, and it finds the gap. Torment scores!
Right, the clear game is going to be the most important part for Rogue. Kronovi did a great job getting a lot of players off the wall, an air dribble for him, and that's punched into the net. All right.
Space Station starts to rally. It's going to be a long climb, but this is the beginning they need. AXB, though, gets beat, and it's in from Kronovi.
Really low goal participation, but he has stepped up for G2 when they're needed. And Rizzo breaks it up. Chicago quickly can't beat Torment to the ball. Now back. Gimmick! He scores! Cloud9! He's going to collect the boost and return back to his own half as NRG threaten. Oh, it's Garrett!
And Justin now on the catch. This one around the goal with a bump, but he caught the ball a second time. If he didn't hit it, it was for sure going to be in. Fireburner was lurking, but a second opportunity is there! Yes!
Tries to chase Torment. Looks for the dunk in the air. Justin coming off the ceiling, falls down. Still got the flip. It off the ground and in. Justin finds the third goal.
And here's a look at your final bracket for the NA-RLCS Regional Playoffs. NRG sweep their way to a well-deserved title, while Rogue took the long way into land. And joining us now to break down all that insane action is none other than Lawler. What's up, dude?
How's it going, you guys?
Fantastic.
Yeah, good to have you back.
Just like NRG are.
Can't get rid of me, man.
Back to back as well.
Lawler, why is NRG so good?
Because everyone else is trash. No. Energy is like the best defense we've ever seen matched with super high level consistency. They do no wrong. Simply put, like they don't mess up, and that's hard to come by. And it's paired with two mechanically gifted gods in Justin and Garrett, and then you've got a support system in Fireburner that doesn't make mistakes. When he does, they're extremely glaring, but it's like less than dime a dozen. Like it just doesn't happen. So yeah, they're really good, like really, really good.
And I mean, as a guy, I'm still kind of picking up on some of the subtleties. And you said their defense is incredible, and I think it was really highlighted by that ridiculous overtime that they played in, I believe it was a game 3 against Cloud9, where it felt like they were surviving like 7+ minutes of overtime pressure, and Cloud9 was just starving them out, and they still kept getting it. I mean, at this point, you got to feel like this title, this world regional title was deserved, and maybe they're on the way to what would be a well-deserved Worlds title.
Yeah, I was last night I was actually hanging out with their coach, Chrome. He talked about like it was the perfect way to cap off a well-deserved season. And I hate the term deserved because I don't think anything is deserved, it's earned, and they've put in the work to get to this point. But they're really happy with where they've come. They have focused a lot on putting emphasis on playing their play style. There's a lot of time when teams either get down on something or they start to lose or it starts to trend the other way. And you see that even with Energy, where there'll be times where the other team scores, but they still hold on, they still play exactly how they want to play, and then they close out the series in a dominating fashion. And there's a lot of teams that don't, where as soon as things start to go away from them, they change up, they play a little bit more passive, or they play too aggressive. And Energy just hasn't done that. They're just playing the way they want to play, and it's clearly working. So really happy for them, and I know they're really excited about where they're at as a team, and they're treating DreamHack Dallas as literally a practice for RLCS, because at the end of the day, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's RLCS or nothing. So
it's a good point, because talking to Chrome a while ago myself, he had mentioned that they with Garrett too, that they were actually trying a different play style, and we saw that last Worlds, and we saw how well that went, right? So I think it makes sense that they're just like, okay, you know what? You guys know what to do on the field. How about you just go ahead and do it? And it looks to be working. But another team that tends to do what they want on the field, sometimes it doesn't work out, is C9. And then, of course, alongside G2, the other big three, these guys are just consistently at the top. And I'm not sure how they just keep doing it.
I mean, no offense to North America, I think it's pretty easy to stay at that top in the sense of the other competition coming in, I think, is having an issue with a lot of these roster changes. I think we're all surprised the fact that Rogue is a top 4. I don't think any of us expected that to be, but it also shows the difficulty of what it is to maintain in top 4. So credit where it's due, both to G2, Cloud9, and Energy staying at the top for so long. I think the biggest roster change in history was this season, and the fact that G2 ended up with Chicago, and they're continuously showing their potential. I don't think we've seen peak Cloud9 yet, or peak G2 yet, but as for Cloud9, I think something's got to give. I think we're seeing, not to the extent of Dignitas, but there's a feeling of complacency. They've been dominant since they came in Season 4 when they were the Muffin Men and won DreamHack and then became Cloud9 and that whole story, but I don't think we've seen them really give it their all in a while, and it's showing. Like, they're not as dominant as they once were, because I feel they've become a little stagnant in their decisions. The fact that they aren't willing to take a coach, and the fact that they don't take scrims as seriously as other teams, I think is finally catching up to them. So I don't think they can just rely on really crazy good mechanics anymore. I think they actually have to put in some real effort. So that's why I think we haven't seen them as dominant as once before, but at the same time, they're still just that good, so they can skate by. So, and maybe they are practicing a lot. I don't know, but from what I've seen and heard and whatever, I think they could do better if they put in the effort.
Gimmick even mentioned at one point, I'm like, what do you do to prep? And I'm like,
yeah. It felt like maybe Cloud9 was like, they're just as you said, they're going through by kind of like brute force, right? They're just using their skill and maybe not necessarily as much as their brains, which maybe that's because it seemed to me like this playoffs are more than ever kind of really highlight that there is a pretty clear number 1, number 2, number 3 with all the sweeps, especially Cloud9 swept G2 and then got swept by NRG. Do you think that this really solidified kind of that idea?
Yes and no, because if you look at any of those series, sweeps does not tell the story. The match between Cloud9 and G2 was relatively close. Same thing with Energy and Cloud9. Like, we had an 11-minute and 12-second overtime.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that match wasn't close. Like, the fact that they battled for that long, and then the last game they just gave up. Like, they had an 11-minute, 12-second overtime, so you're playing essentially 3+ games in one game. You lose that, you're now demoralized, and then the game starts for the last game for G2 or for Cloud9 Energy. They get scored within 5 seconds of the kickoff. So you just lost 3 games technically, and then you're immediately scored on again. Cloud9 gave up before the game even started. Like, so they gave it them all, and it was a close series. It was a really close series. So I think Cloud9 still has it in them. It's just a little bit of a wake-up call.
You know, I want to talk about a bit of a miracle run, it seems. They had to go through this team first, though, SSG, and then we'll focus on, of course, Rogue and their run. But SSG, you know, we even heard it from Gimmick yet again. I asked him and I said, who is SSG making it in? And his one single word was definitely. Like, Gimmick himself thought they were, and I'm wondering why they didn't. They got 2 0-4s. Against Rogue and Cloud9, and they're out. They keep it close against C9, but then get stomped by Rogue. What's going on with them?
Yeah, I think a lot of us felt that if they didn't take the victory in the top half, they weren't going to make it. There's something about a lot of these younger teams that come in that if they don't do things their way initially, they have a hard time bouncing back. You see it historically through Rocket League, where a lot of these newer teams, where if they don't solidify their play style or they don't come in with a very headstrong mentality and super positive, they just can't seem to hold on. And it's more of an experience thing. I think that's why Kronovi moving to Rogue was such a positive thing, because yes, they are a brand new team. For those that don't remember, it was previously FlyQuest that got picked up and dropped Prime Thunder with Kronovi moving in. So the fact that this veteran status has seen everything, ups and downs, he's been through it all. He's been a world champion, but he's also been at bottom of the barrel of G2 for numerous seasons. So having that veteran status shows a lot in what it can do mentality-wise for a team like Rogue. And I think that was their benefit. Like, they came in, they played their game, and they realized, like, okay, it's not over yet. We still have to stay pretty level-headed until things start going our way. And for Space Station, like, they got swept by Cloud9, and then they dropped down. So for them, it's not an easy situation to be a part of, to bounce back from that, even though you have a series to kind of get over it. But it's difficult to assert yourself when something you've been doing all season just flat out doesn't work. It's not easy to get over. So shooting accuracy has always been an issue for Space Station. You saw a little bit of that. But when there's a ton of pressure on the line and it's like, yo, you have to win this series to go to LAN, that's not an easy thing to kill for nerves.
Yeah. And you did mention on Kronovi's impact on Rogue, and I do want to touch on them because seriously impressive performance by them. They beat Ghost 4-2, then they swept SSG to make it all the way to LAN. Kronovi was playing like a man who really, really, really wanted to go to LAN. One of the things that potentially was a big factor for them was the defense. There was actually, of their 14 games they played, there was 8 of them, even against NRG, where they only allowed 1 or less goals. How do you think that played a big factor in them being able to punch their ticket to LAN?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. When you can keep a team to that minimal amount, it just basically shows that for the rest of the game, you always have a chance. Even when the clock is done, you still have a chance to score and tie it up. So that kind of concept is a way to revitalize the team at any moment, like just knowing that it's never technically over. And yeah, even though you're down by 2 or 3 at some points, like you're still technically not over, because with Rocket League, like a crazy pinch can happen and it can go in. But knowing that it's within 1, it does something to a team's mindset that enables them for success. Just because, like, knowing it's right there, like all we have to do is put 1 away is just enough to get, especially like younger teams, even though Wonder's not a young guy by any means.
Still less experience though.
Yeah, they're new to it. So I think that's great. I think Kronovi and the rest of the squad did a great job in that aspect. And another team that definitely has been trying to find their calling of what they want to be. Kronovi, I think, has played the best season he's played in a long time. He started to redefine the support role probably a season ago. And then this season, I think, was the best he's looked in a really long time. He's single-handedly, I think, been the sole, like he's the sole reason why Rogue is where they are right now. It just took some time for the other 2 to find where they wanted to be. And shout-outs to AJ. AJ's playing like a madman. He's really hit some pretty nutty angles. He's hit flip resets. He's just relieving some of that pressure finally. I think Kronovi should be a striker. It's where he got his start. It's where I think he feels most comfortable. And if Wonder can support that, awesome. You got a double-headed monster that's trying to score some goals. So.
And of course, Ghost went home, so we're not going to talk about them. And North America is only half the picture right now for our discussion. So we got to hit Europe next. Let's take a quick breather before jumping in it by checking out these highlights.
Scared the entire TSM defense, but now on the other end, Ignite with a wide open net. He couldn't do it. Oh, it's blocked again. Ignite can't get back to it. No goal for TSM. Dignitas get away with it. A shot blocked, scored. Violent Panda. It really has just been so back and forth. Pass off the ceiling. Remco, does he have the touch? Ignite off the backboard. Metanoris comes in. It's too late. Turbo Pulsa and Violent Panda have the clear. And the follow-up from Yukio. 1, 2, 3, score. Dignitas.
Nice and high, but Tadpole's already up, playing towards the backboard. No one's home if he can just double.
What a touch! But again, the challenge game, Casio, a big win, and another one from Triple Trouble. Dangerous.
And shot. Chaussette stays with it. Moves it out back to midfield.
And back in the day when we used to have teams.
Oh, Chaussette! Oh, Chaussette does it himself.
Doing a little better in the boost department. Shawset picks it up. He's got another beat. Shawset! Evisceration!
Top of each other, but Bluey still manages to get the job done. Here comes Tadpole now through the air. See if he can set up a teammate or get it in by himself. No way. But the shot from Tadpole is not good. Now Alpha down the field. Bluey on the flank. Alpha does it by himself. The MVP. Up against Fruity on the other end. He's got half a tank of boost, and he's going to try and keep it in the air. Get it over the top. Gets the bump on himself. Holy cow.
Barcelona's goaltending has kept them alive in game number 6. Alpha, it's not the best touch. The demo opens the net. K-Up strikes, and Vitality are your European regional champion.
The EU RLCS playoffs are over and Vitality are your kings. Triple Trouble shocked everyone by qualifying for LAN, while Dignitas was so close, yet so far. Now, Lawler, I thought watching some of those highlights would have let me catch my breath, but Europe was nuts, man, and stressful, and I'm sure you're feeling the same.
It's Europe, man. Stressful, and we have no idea what's going to happen, except for this time we finally got the results right, I feel. A little bit more predictable on this side. The big notable one that I want to give a shout-out to is PSG. PSG is looking like a LAN team. They're ready to go, and it's really exciting to see because I've always been a big fan of those guys. I think Farah is a super underrated player still. It's just we haven't seen him play at this level, so shout out to PSG, keeping it close against everybody and almost taking the victory.
Well, we'll talk about it in a sec. We have to, of course, talk about some teams that didn't make it. TSM, I really can't figure out what's going on, man. Like, I'm mind blown.
Last time Lawler was here, we were trying to figure it out. You weren't necessarily sure, and they did, in fact.
Chiefs couldn't figure it out either.
As predicted, they went all the way from top 2 to now all the way out of LAN. So what do you think where does this team go from here?
Yeah, fall from grace for sure from TSM, which is super disheartening. They get their E-League victory, get picked up by TSM, and then they just haven't been able to maintain it. A lot of it, I think, has to do with this old guard type thing. I talked about this yesterday when I was hanging with Chrome and those guys, because someone asked, like, yo, what's going on with TSM for the same reason? And the way I expressed it is someone needs to step up. And when they do, the others need to help that. We've seen numerous times Metzenaris try to assert himself as that focal point. And then when he does, like, you just don't get the extra assistance. Like, in today's day in Rocket League, you have to have at least 2 players performing really well, I feel. And it just they haven't clicked on that line. A lot of it, I think, does have to do with Remco, where we're used to him being this solidified third, this guy who just does no wrong. And in moments when they lack, he was always the one to step up. He was always the one to move forward and take the shots, or he was the one to slow down the pace on the back end to make sure that they had time to kind of reassert themselves. And it just hasn't happened. He's been very, very lackluster, I think, this season, which is weird because normally he's so consistent. It just hasn't happened.
I'm throwing my weight over to iIgnite right now. I'm like, we've heard him talk about it before in the past, and don't get me wrong, I love him. I would love to see him at LAN. He's great to hang out with, but I really don't know how much longer he's going to last at this level. He mentioned it himself, about half a year ago, that even he was having trouble keeping up with the pace and speed. And I feel like if he can't keep up with the speed, he's the offense. That team just doesn't have goals.
Yeah, it's been weird because there's moments where Remco looks great and there's moments when iIgnite looks great. And I know iIgnite has it in him. We've seen it. There's nothing in my mind that says that iIgnite is not capable as RLCS top tier. Like, he's a damn good player. It's just I need to see those shots consistently. It's what separates him from the players like Garrett, where they, no matter where they're on the field, they're going to make a correct touch. And when they do get a shot, it is with power on target. And that's been iIgnite's issue, because when he's on, like, everything's bar down and in. Like, it's disgusting what he can do. And it doesn't matter what angle he's hitting it from. It's just, where's that level of consistency? And I don't know what it is. I don't know if Jake is hurting them or helping them. Their new coach from OC that used to play for Chiefs. I don't know what he's doing. I don't mean like in the sense of negative, but it's just
what
like
are you doing?
Like what are you doing coaching wise that is hurting? Like what kind of things are you attempting to help these guys out with? So I just simply haven't heard from it. I have no idea what he's attempting to do with TSM, and not to put the blame on him by any means. But something's got to give from those guys. I don't know if they just need to change what they're doing, but I think it starts with the basics. Go back to the basics. Clearly, you guys did well. You qualified for Dallas through winners. Like, you guys dominated. So take that, go look and see what you did there, and try to recapture that.
Now hold up, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm looking around here. and I don't see Dignitas.
Not
Where are they? What happened? Where'd they go?
Eliminated.
Why?
Unfortunately.
What happened?
I mean, I felt like Violent Panda, much like Kronovi for Rogue, was a man who wanted to go to LAN badly. But you came back and you were like, man, is Turbo the weakest player on Dignitas right now? Lawler, what was your evaluation of Turbo, Violent, the whole Dignitas situation? Too little, too late?
What the heck, dude? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy the amount of respect that team gets because of who they are. Like, even during the entire tournament when we were there, it was just like, yo, I don't want to play Dig. I just don't want to do it. Despite their abysmal season, everybody's still like, yo, we do not want to go up against them. And it's because of what they can do and their potential. We know it's possible. I think Dig has definitely fallen into a place of complacency. I honestly believe that with them winning DreamHack Leipzig was a bad thing because they come into this offseason, they don't do too well at WSOE. They're like, okay, we got to put in some effort. Things are going good. We win DreamHack. Oh, yeah, we're fine. Like, we can skate by. No big deal. And then all of a sudden, they're bottom 3 in league play, and we're like, okay, are they going to make it? And they barely scrape by. They get into the team house. They're starting to do well again. But when you leave it up to chance like that, like, that's not the Dignitas way. So I think it's a big wake-up call. I think these guys realize, like, yo, teams are getting good. Like, we got some really competitive. No.
Okay.
No, come on.
Simply that. We'll see them next season.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No.
I didn't believe it. I just wanted to get it out there. But we ain't going to see that. I mean, I think they'll be fairly safe into the next one. One of the question marks I've had, though, and it's one of the teams going to LAN, is Triple Trouble. Now, I'm still not certain if, maybe we've seen their peak. You seem excited. You're stoked.
When the Chiefs was on the show for the last couple weeks, I was like, man, I really want Triple Trouble, playoff team, yay, nay. Now LAN team, yes, no, and everyone was saying no, no, no. And then watching that video of Tadpole's house and the whole place was going nuts and they're popping off. I mean, it was absolutely a fantastic story. And I mean, maybe, we were saying Dignitas getting complacent. Maybe everybody was getting complacent on Triple Trouble, right? Because they came in, they beat an incredibly impressive team in PSG.
Yeah.
Lawler, Triple Trouble, I mean, they're heading into LAN now. Talk to us about this journey that they've taken this year.
Yeah, for them, it's pretty crazy to get promoted. So they've obviously made history. They're not the only ones. Technically, Barcelona, I know I gave you crap for it last time, Nick, but technically Barcelona as well made history in the sense that they auto-qualified, but it was the first time that we've seen a rival series team promote with all new players, all new faces, and then also come in and solidify a place at LAN through qualifying, not just through an auto bid. So obviously history in their own sense, but yeah, man, it's scary what a team that has nothing to lose can do. They're a team that all expectations were the complete opposite. Everybody expected them to be probably bottom 4 of the standings, and for them to come in, like, that's scary when you come in and you're literally only going to gain experience. You're only going to improve. Sky's the limit. So they look good, man. They look really good. I mentioned it very briefly last time I was here that they have potential to be a top 2 team in Europe. And I still stand by that. I think the potential is definitely there. I don't think we've seen peak. As these guys get more comfortable, as they obtain more experience against the top level, we've seen what those players can do. And when they've got a support system behind them that's going crazy when they qualify, like, that's things for success.
They're going to have to fight 2 other teams, though, for that top 2 spot. I mean, like, I really think PSG and FCB.
Those are 2 teams that are going to be
which
really
is pretty cool, by the way,
to
say, FCB and PSG in Rocket League. It's really cool to see. But though, between those 2, like, we've seen a PSG now on the rise. These guys are stepping up. They're starting to crush it. But we've seen Barcelona be able to step on them as well. Who's kind of fighting? Who do you put in that second spot right now? Is it Barcelona, or do you think PSG has every right to take that spot?
Without a doubt, it's Barcelona.
Okay.
Track record between the 2 of them, especially if you go head-to-head, it's always in Barcelona's favor. PSG has a really hard time against that matchup, always have. But Barcelona, just the potential of that team at any given moment is just disgusting. It's literally 3 guys all mechanically gifted that can do whatever they want, whenever they want. And as long as the other 2 don't trip up and don't get in their way, they're great. Alpha's shown his consistency and can support whatever they need. So yeah, Barcelona, like, out of all the teams that have a chance at winning LAN, Barcelona's my third most likely right now.
Now, I don't think we have time to talk about Vitality, but I just want you to give me your thoughts. Both of you. Actually, Nick, you go first.
Closing thoughts?
Well, NRG or Vitality?
I think that despite the fact that Vitality was pressured a lot more by what we'd say arguably are the better European teams, it felt like their win was a lot harder to get than NRG's was, in terms of number of games and how hard they had to work for it. I still like NRG a lot, though.
Okay. Lawler?
Right now,
Who's got the
NRG.
edge? Yeah.
Like right now, if you're playing a series between between Vitality and NRG wins it. Which I think favors this new format we have at World Championships. The fact that it is a single elim bracket, there is no extra life on the final day. So, but also 4 of our 6 LAN winners have come from the lower bracket. So,
who knows?
I don't know, man.
I agree, though. I give NRG the upper hand, but we're all stupid North Americans. What do we know, right? Anyways, Lawler, we're out of town. We got to let you go. So thanks so much for joining in with us, and I'll see you soon for the promo relegation.
Love you guys. Always a pleasure having me.
All right, dude, we have just a few minutes left, but of course, I think we need to touch on the other regions in the RLCS right now. We have OCE and South America. From South America, we already got our representatives.
Yeah, it's nice. We've got, interestingly, the #1 seed from the regular season, Erodium, did not make it. So we've got Low Key and INTZ Esports representing South America. Now, I will personally admit, this is a new region, I think, for a lot of people, and for myself included. And I don't know really that much about these players, but I'm excited to see.
Nobody does.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see these players at LAN. I think this is an awesome opportunity for the region, and I'm sure you're gonna have a great time meeting them and interacting with them on stage. And there's a lot to learn, I think, not just about their region and the way they play the game, but how they're going to interact with other regions as well.
Well, dude, to me, it's like the more friends, the better. I mean, I love meeting all the Rocket League players at LAN. It's so fun to just hang out. Like, LAN is so sick. Also, make sure you're at LAN. I want to meet everybody. But no, it's sick that we have a new region coming in. I honestly think they're going to get trounced. Like, I don't think it's going to come close.
The first couple of years.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's the inevitability. Like, they have to have that. And then what you do, though, as long as you go in knowing, we'll do our best, but we're likely not going to make it far, walk away with that experience, the knowledge, and say, okay, we learned this from these teams that we just played, and we can bring this back to our own region now, and we can make our region just ultimately better.
So, and I mean, I hope that also they get a chance to scrim some of the other teams as well. Like, I'm hoping that your NRGs and your Vitalities, you know, aren't just like, oh, you guys are from South America, we're not scrimming you guys, but like they're actually interested in kind of getting them worked into the system and seeing how they play, because they might be in their group. Or,
that's the thing. People in their groups are probably going to have some scrims with them.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. But another team, another region, OCE. These guys have a bit of shakeup recently.
Big shakeup. Well, like Jake and Torsos leaving the region for TSM and EG respectively. That was off Chiefs, obviously the best team. And there was a whole that kind of led to a whole like spiraling effect of, like, you know, he left, so he joined this team and he joined that team, and they moved a whole bunch of people around, and some sponsors came and some sponsors left. So that isn't out actually locked in yet, but it will be this coming weekend.
Yeah, our top contenders probably looking like Renegades. Of course, that's Torsos, the last remaining Chief player, and then they got Kami on. And I've heard Yummy Cheese been talking about Kami. Like, Kami is apparently he's greater than Drippe, is what he's saying.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if I believe that, Yummy.
I think we saw the potential of Kami in past seasons, and now that the door was open for kind of that best player in OS position to be available, maybe stepping into that role. But I like the way that the Renegades look right now, and the other team obviously, Icon. So if for those that aren't familiar, that's kind of like a mashup of like Tainted Mind / Dark-Sided players, right?
Yeah. We have CJ, which we know everybody loves CJ.
I mean, we at the very least we want CJ at LAN just for antics, just for the entrance, just for the entrance. Doesn't matter how well they play.
Yeah, he had his car walk-in.
The car was walk-in.
Legendary, dude. Legendary. And then of course you have CJ and Shady and Express alongside CJ.
Yeah.
And these are guys that have been in the scene for so long in OCE, like way back, like since past season 1. I was playing with these guys online, talking to these guys online. Like, these guys have always been really, really good players. So they have experience.
That's not to say that, like, for example, Out of Order can't do an upset, but I think going into the top 4 here, the playoff bracket for OS, I think it's pretty safe to say that those are the 2 teams that we're expecting to see in Jersey.
The hard thing, though, is for those teams, they can get there, but the thing's once they're there, you're looking at incredibly strong NA and EU top end right now, and you guys just went through a huge shakeup in your region.
I think it's going to take some time for these rosters to settle, and the Chiefs were together for a while, and they just barely started kind of keeping up with these NA EU teams. So we're gonna have to see how they have, but I agree with you. I think that OS is gonna have a rough ride.
Yeah, either way, it's gonna be exciting to watch, so you guys better tune in. That'll be June 21st to 23rd, and that's coming up fast. But that's it for today. Shout out to Lawler for calling in today. Just a reminder, the next Thursday show is not Rocket League, because Nick and Marissa will be taking you through the insane world of Dota 2 and the MDL Disneyland Major. Tomorrow, though, we're back with another show for FPS Friday to close out the week. Till then, check out our socials at Squad State, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, boys, for getting us caught up on everything Rocket League. And if you're craving some more Rocket League action, we just released a video on our YouTube of the plays of the week. So go check that out. Shout out to Rebel for fueling us in the green room. And remember, we're back tomorrow in the green room at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then that night, 8 p.m., we're back with another Unmuted, and we're talking CSGO and Esports in 30. Remember, you can always hit us up on our socials at Squad State. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.